Hey, how you all doing? Has it been good? We are back to Flashback Mondays. And I am so missing my Romantic Times book review magazine. Oh, I miss it so tremendously. But it ended in July, and we have proceeded forward with new releases for every month. And eventually we will catch up to current times. And then I will need an idea to move forward with. For Flashback Mondays. If you haven't watched all of the videos, I start in the kitchen, I go to the corner, I go back and forth. Travel with me from 2007 to 2016. But anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kostina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy schmancy stuff going on here. This is March 2017. And our first book, I pay attention to myself today, is Marie Boswick's The Promise Girls. Every child prodigy grows up eventually, for the Promise sisters, escaping their mother's narcissism and notoriety that came with her best-selling book hasn't been easy. Minora Promise claimed that her three test tube daughters, gifted pianist Joni, artistic Meg, and storyteller Avery, were engineered and molded to be genius. In adulthood, their modest lives fall far short of her grand ambitions. But now, 20 years after the book's release, she hopes to redeem herself by taking part in a new documentary. Meg, who hasn't picked a paintbrush in years, adamantly refuses to participate until a car accident leaves her with crushing medical bills. When she recuperates in Seattle, the three sisters reluctantly meet with the filmmaker Hal Seeger, another former prodigy. Like them, he's familiar with the weight of failed potential. But as he digs deeper, he uncovers secrets they've hidden from each other, and the revelations that will challenge their beliefs even spurs them to forge their own extraordinary lives at last. What? Sorry. McCall Alexander Smith. A distant view of everything. When a matchmaker begins to question her latest match, Isabel Dalhouse is called upon to help. The new baby brings on an abundance of joy to Isabel and her husband Jamie, but almost 4-year-old Charlie is none too keen on his newborn brother. In fact, he refuses to acknowledge Magnus, and Isabel must find a way to impress her older son, the patience and understanding that have served as guardian principles in her own life. These are the qualities that bring Bay Sheldon, an old acquaintance of Isabel, to seek help in a tricky situation. Something of a matchmaker, B has introduced a wealthy female friend to a cosmetic surgeon at her most recent dinner party. Then new information comes to light about the surgeon that causes B to doubt his motives and the auspiciousness of the match. Isabel agrees to find out more, but her inquiries take an unexpected turn as she begins to wonder whom exactly she should be investigating. We'll see. Excuse me. Okay. I think we've worked out a compromise here. What? I just, you know you're BITCH. You know that. Alright, wait. If you haven't watched all my videos on, would you stop? Come over here. Come back here, Smokey. JP Beaumont. Please go watch all those videos on JP Beaumont. Okay? Now we're gonna do Ali Reynolds at some point. Man overboard. Roger McCreary has built a successful life for himself after 25 years of struggling with depression caused in no small part by his father's suicide. Now he is one of the leading cybersecurity experts in the field, and all expense-paid cruise he's been given seems like icing on the cake. But when Roger falls from the balcony of his stateroom, the police are all too quick to rule it a death by misadventure, or was it? Roger's aunt, Julia Milner, certainly believes otherwise. She's tracked down Roger's best friend from childhood, Suited Ramey, at his job at High Moon Enterprises in search of some answers. Aiding the grieving Stu is Allie Reynolds, who comes to the full resources of her team to learn the truth. Laurie Foster, our harbor lady, our Regency lady who occupies most of the shelves back here. Justice Wallington knows how to harness his strength and intimidating size. Skills he puts to good use in the MMA cage and now is a bodyguard at Body Armor Agency. But no opponent has ever left him feeling as off balance as his new client, heiress Fallon Wade. Far from a spoiled heiress, she's sweet and intriguingly innocent, is a risk-free assignment until he's required to fake a relationship with her in order to blend in. Aw, yeah, right. If you haven't gone and watched Oh My Donna Andrews, please do. Meg Langslow. She progresses from a single person working with iron stuff. She ends up getting married. She ends up working for the mayor. And she solves a murder mystery each and every book. And her mother is absolutely fantastic. If I was like a billionaire, I'm not. But if I was, and if Meg Langslow's mother was real, I would hire her to decorate my house every single Christmas without a doubt. The woman has a knack for transforming a house into Christmas wonderland. I am so jealous. I love her mother's Christmas. Two of Meg's cousins, members of Mother's vast Hollingsworth clan, are getting married and both have chosen Caerphilly for their Christmas destination wedding on the same day in the same venue. But while they're cousins, they're also lifelong enemies. Mother's efforts to keep the peace are wearing her down, and the battling brides, as well as their mothers, are making the holiday season miserable for everyone. So Meg steps in to help, and it was going badly even before she stumbled over the murdered body of the wedding photographer. Unfortunately, there are plenty of suspects. The photographer has been hitting on many of the guests, the bridesmaids, even more, one or more of the brides. He's also been thinking about taking candid shots of everybody. I bet there's a photo in there someplace for blackmail. Another series. I think I've done a couple of these. Have to check. Death and the Librarian. We've definitely talked about him in our Librarian series. Library director Amy Muir has always been suspicious of wealthy art dealer Kirk Kendrick as a close family friend. The ties that bind them are strong, but his murky past is concerning, especially since he is the godfather to Amy and her husband Richard's 6-year-old twins. When a visitor to their small historic Virginia town is found dead after publicly accusing Kurt of committing a decades-old murder, Amy is determined to prove that Kirk didn't do it. She better. Those of you who are currently watching Outlander, I finished binging season 7 while I was ill, and it drove me to this. If you understand, let me know what Fort Ticonderoga has to do with these and why it drove me to this. And I'll let you in a little secret. When I slice this up, it's going to have peanut butter all over it. So anyways, Mississippi Blood. Penn Cage is shattered by grief and dreaming of vengeance. The woman he loves is gone, and his father, Dr. Tom Cage, is about to be tried for the murder of a former lover, Viola Turner. In the 1960s, Viola a noxious point between Penn's father and a savage splinter cell of the KKK called the Double Eagles. Today, those men want Dr. Cage to take the fall for them, to take his secrets to the grave. Unable to trust anyone, not even his own mother, Penn joins forces with Serenity Butler, a former soldier. Together, they desperately seek to crack the Double Eagles and uncover the secret history of the Cage family and the South itself. Come on, over here. Make up your mind. Laura Lee, waking a sleepy tiger. As soon as I collect this series, we'll be doing it. When readers all dark romance and unbridled desire want to be satisfied, they turn to #1 New York Times seller, Laura Lee. Once he was Judd, Bengal breed, and brother to the notorious fugitive Gideon. After Gideon disappeared, Judd was experimented on until his tortured body knew nothing but agony. Now he is Cullen Maverick, serving as commander of the Navajo Covert Law Enforcement Agency in the small community of Winslow Rock, Arizona. Despite his genetics, Cullen is able to pass as human because his Bengal traits are recessed. He lacks the ability to smell the emotion bonds and feels that other breeds take for granted, and he remains tormented that he wasn't able to mate the woman he loved. I'm getting whacked. Whack, 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 whack. Are you pissed? Are you pissed at something? Are you pissed? You could do a couple videos for me. I'm all out of shorts. Oh, actually, no, March is green month. It was January that we were out of shorts. Kay Hooper, want for dark. Oh, wait for dark, sorry. In Clarity, North Carolina, residents have fallen victim to an unfortunate series of events. Seemingly random accidents have taken the lives of several citizens in a small mountain town. But these deadly coincidences are anything but. Something on the hunt is in Clarity, and the only clue is a cryptic note given the victims 24 hours before they meet their ends. Wait for dark. I want to read this series if he wasn't a game warden. That's the one thing that bothers me, that he's a game warden. The Cates family has always been a bad lot. Joe has been able to strike a fierce blow against them when they critically endangered the life of his daughter April, but he always wondered if there'd be a reckoning day. He's wondering no longer. That day has come. Joe knows they're coming after him and his family now. Dallas Cates is out of prison, and even though his brother and father are dead and his mother's wheelchair bound in jail, he is forced with a malevolent power. A Stolen Heart. Amanda Cabot. Far from Cimarron Creek, Texas seems like an idyllic town tucked in Texas Hill Country, but when former schoolteacher Lydia Crawford steps onto its dusty streets in 1880, she finds a deep-seated resentment of Northerners. Like her, Lydia won't let her down. All will be well when she's reunited with his fiancé. But when she discovers he's disappeared and that he left behind a pregnant wife, Lydia is at a loss at what to do next. Sheriff! Sheriff! Sexy sheriff, come help me. We're in a small western town. Chevy Stevens never let you go. 11 years ago, Lindsay Nash escaped into the night with her young daughter and left an abusive relationship. Her ex-husband, Andrew, was sent to jail, and Lindsay started over a new life. Now Lindsay is older and wiser, her own business, and a teenage daughter who needs her more than ever. When Andrew is finally released from prison, Lizzie believes he has cut all ties and left the past behind him. But she soon gets the sense that someone is watching her. Excuse me. What? Okay. Brenda Novak, Finding Forever. The search for her birth mother brought Cora Kelly to New Horizons Boys Ranch. Getting a job there was easy enough, but confiding in Anya, the ranch's owner, that she's really her daughter, Cora's not sure she can do that, not unless she's confident that the news will be welcomed. Lorraine Heath, Naked Guy on the Cover! And if you haven't seen our video back in February, go check it out. Naked Guy on the Cover! The Marquis of Marston has always followed the rules. Expected from birth to adhere to the decade's tradition, he plans to marry a proper young woman. But when a beautiful, completely unsuitable woman snags his heart, he begins to realize that to get what you want, sometimes you have to break the rules. Stephanie Bond body move. Body move. When you gamble with the truth, Carlotta Wren is off to another adventure, this time following away from her jailbird father to Las Vegas to find out what happened to her long-lost mother. Unaware of Carlotta's mission, her brother Wesley tags along with the grandiose designs of winning big with a big secret bag of cash he found. But as soon as the Wren siblings hit Sin City, the rock runs cold. Murder on the Serpentine. This is another series we gotta get into. Thomas Pitt's years of service have taken him from the heights of London's privileged society to the depths of the most wretched classes to enforce the law and fight for justice. But in the history of Anne Perry's New York Times bestselling Victorian history series, the stakes have never been higher. It is not the custom for the commander of the special branch to receive a royal summons to Thomas Pitt knows it must be a matter of great importance. The body of Sir John Halberd, the Queen's confidant, has been found in the shallow water of the Serpentine in Hyde Park, bearing the evidence of a fatal blow to his head. At Her Majesty's request, Sir John has been surreptitiously investigating Alan Kendrick, a horse-racing enthusiast who seems to have an undue amount of influence on her son, the Prince of Wales. Now, Commander Pitt must navigate the corridors of the Tower with the utmost discretion and stealth, for it seems certain that Sir John's killer is a member of the upper class. Ooh. Sorry, ma'am. Laura Lee Gurkey, The Truth About Love and Dukes. Naked guy on the cover! Henry Duke of Torco couldn't be caught reading the wildly popular Dear Lady True Love column, but when it advice causes his mother to embark on a scandalous elopement, an outraged Henry decides the author of this tract must be stopped before she can ruin any more lives. And then, of course, he finds her and falls in love. What else? Lindsay McKenna, Wind River Cowboy. Kara Dovo was part of Special Forces team that got caught in an ambush, leaving only 2 wounded survivors, herself and Weapons Sergeant Garrett Fleming. Losing her team was traumatic, and in the chaotic aftermath, as the Army moved them from hospital to hospital, she lost Garrett too, but she never lost her secret yearning for him. And then he shows up again. Right, down to last 2. Maya Banks, Brighter Than the Sun. As last, the unattached member of the Kelly clan, Joe is more than ready to risk life and limb on any mission he's assigned to. When it comes to life, he'll keep his distance, thank you very much. But then he meets Rusty Kelly. Our last one is Lisa C., the tea girl of Hummingbird Lane. People keep telling me I need to get this special tea. In their remote mountain village, Li Yan and her family align their lives around the seasons and the farming for tea. The Aqua people ensconced in the ritual of routine. Life goes on as it has for generations until one day a stranger arrives at the village gate, making the first entrance of modern world into their lives. Slowly, Li Yang begins to reject the customs of her people, forging a relationship with a man her parents believed to be a poor match. She was a child out of wedlock, and that gives child up for adoption. Tucking a special tea cake in her blankets, these journeys of discovery leads her to an education, a business, a city life, while she longs for the daughter she gave away and has to go search for. And that's about it. That is the end of Flashback Monday. Wait a second. So, me and my companion over here and my apple, we got another book to read, and maybe we'll look at Outlander if she can stop hitting me. And I hope you have a good day.